Hello.
Hello.
Someone in chat say something so that I know the stream is working, please.
Dear God.
Hmm. Hello.
Hello.
Someone in chat say something so that I know the stream
Well, I
is
think
working.
your volume is very low on stream
Oh, really?
in comparison to mine, yeah.
I'm not sure how to change that.
If you go on your mic input, you can do something, I think.
Let's have a look.
Or just drop down Discord and bump yourself up. You can also add a...
Let's see, is that better maybe? I believe.
Still pretty quiet.
Hmm.
If you add like a compressor onto your mic under filters, and then just bump up the output gain to like 4-ish. So just drop my...
Compressor, output gain 4. Okay. Maybe that's better. Okay. Well, we're in the lobby. I can't see the thing because of the broadcasting channels, but we have a second a Baps Radiant and a Tit-Warblers second pick, and that was a Tit-Warblers choice, which I think goes against the grain. We are. I'm not sure what the priority has been for other teams, but at least at sit out we have been experimenting with second pick as well.
I think it's better.
I'm turning down Pyrion.
You can see more of the
Alpha flexing. For God's sake. Whatever, who cares? Yeah, I think maybe we'll just see. Well, Visage is quite a specific band, so this is already kind of unusual. But the SD is super standard. Yeah. I feel like I've played only one game with or maybe 2 games with SD in it because it just gets banned so much though. It's a bit like Medusa.
I don't know about Medusa. Medusa always feels like a sort of so-so hero. It can really pop off, like laning stage, relatively fine. Past that, you can slowly it feels really strong. But you can't get
I meant it. Yeah. I meant it more in the sense that it just gets banned every game, but yeah.
Yes.
I think Clockwork.
I think with Medusa, it's the sort of hero you just have to drop. And if you haven't got full buff to get to Medusa, it's pretty much a free game.
Well, speaking of the Medusa, it's banned.
Yeah, that's classic. And the Luna ban as well, which isn't surprising again. I think it's another popular hero.
Yeah.
Very strong.
And,
Very strong.
and I'm assuming Vidicus is good enough to play any of these heroes, I think.
I've always respected Vidicus's carries. I haven't seen much of Swan though. I think we played against him. Again, seemed like a decent carry.
My feeling from watching Tit-Warblers a little bit is that they've had some slightly off drafts, in my opinion, or strategic choices, but we'll see. Because they are playing with a stand-in, and
Yes.
I mean, Seething is my mid laner. I feel like he has quite a specific hero pool. even though he actually does play a wide variety, I think his preference is towards tanky heroes.
Yeah, I've always found Seething to be the most physical player. Can go in any sort of direction. I remember playing against him in a, I think he picked Void Spirit and he just dumpsters us. He just dumpsters us. But his more traditionals of sort of these tanky sitting there.
Yeah.
Just deal with shit like that.
I mean, the Necro here that's banned is an exact example.
And SF is picked up first.
Wow. Very confident first pick.
It's bold. It's bold. I don't know what the win rate on heroes at the moment. It's pretty strong. Yeah, it's currently sitting at 61% win rate.
Wow. That's quite good.
Yeah, I mean, again, another mega hero that's
Mm.
to play against, strong at pretty much all phases of the game, very strong laner. See how they can transition that to early push.
For me, I'm a massive fan of the SF, and I think one of the major reasons is that in a lot of these games we've seen, I mean, Shadow Shaman is kind of similar to this actually, where I think a lot of teams struggle to go high ground and take objectives, but high ground especially. So having these teams like these heroes like Shadow Fiend and Shadow Shaman who have the objective taking with the or minus armor or the serpent wards and stuff, like it helps break the high ground and actually turn fights into objectives, which is something that teams struggle with, definitely.
No, absolutely. I think that's the main, not to harp on about OGs, but that was our main issue, is that we just couldn't take objectives. Having these heroes and just run up high ground, take building in 2 seconds, leave, it's difficult to play against. And as soon as you lose one fight, it just snowballs into losing the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really respect the SF pick, Shaman pick as well. I'm not sure how they'll really move on from this though. It seems like a bit squishy. If they play it full, I think SF kind of just.
Oh shit! Wait, they can't hear you.
They can't hear me.
What the fuck? Your analysis has been fantastic. For God's sake. How do I audio desktop audio default apply? Say something to the stream, please.
Is that better?
Say something again, sorry.
Maybe I just need to bump my mic volume up.
Well, the mixer is actually showing that you're speaking, so.
Well, in that case, I blame someone else then.
Oh, apparently it's just very quiet. Let me turn you up.
Okay.
5 seconds remaining.
Is that better?
I have no idea. I'm going to say yes, absolutely.
Radiant team pick.
Wow, still extremely quiet.
Yeah, the volume on my side seems fine.
Okay.
So I'm blaming the stream, not the streams, but the listeners. And they pick up Ench, which I think is a very slept-on hero. I don't know why people aren't picking it more. It's absurd. It's such a good hero.
Yeah. I think maybe it's just because a lot of people don't play it, or they feel they lack confidence in playing it because it seems hard, even though I don't think it's necessarily as hard as people think. But yeah, I agree with you.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, and Primal Beast. Primal Beast is another hero that I don't think has seen much pickups. Looking through my big old spreadsheet of things, which is just Dota buff, it has been played.
The volume, I can't.
It's all over the place. It's very loud.
Yeah.
Oh no, hold on. Do I need to turn... If I turn myself down here, is that better?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Well, hopefully this is better.
Let's see. If people complain, then they can complain.
Hope
I'll
this
shut
is okay. But yeah, Primal is another strange one because I'm not sure, like... first of all, the role that it plays, you know, I guess it's primarily a mid or an offlaner, but I'm not sure how it plays from offlane, to be honest. I feel like...
never seen it played offlane. At least in recent memory, it's mostly been played. No, that's a lie. I think now people are just sort of picking trample level 1, and they just cut waves. They sit between tier 3 and tier 2, and just trample every single lane. You get like 2 clarities, and you're just super comfortable. It's difficult to gank him because he's so tanky. He gets like level 2 off of the first like wave and a half, and what can you do? He just sort of runs away if you get him. You just have to immediately, as soon as you see him cutting, you have to just rotate both supports usually just to stop it. And it seems really tricky at least to play against. We'll see if he plays that way. And yeah, as the commenter says, Coil has played it a lot, so it seems like a comfort hero, which I can respect.
Yeah. Yeah, I can respect that. I think if you have a limited hero pool, or not even limited hero pool, but just have preference. I mean, I played Luna like 5 games in the group stage, so.
Yeah, and Leshrac as well. So really doubling down on this, just take base.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? It doesn't look like they've really got the burst damage so far, at least, to deal with both a Shadow Fiend and a Lesh standing and just taking tower. They haven't got a lot of control, I don't think. I guess you've got Shaman for Shadow Fiend, but as soon as he pops BKB, it's I don't know how a Shadow Shaman stands without getting immediately just right clicks twice. And even then, you've still got a Primal and a Lesh who can follow up on stuns to prevent sort of those long shackles. So I think to me this looks like a Breaking Baps. I don't know how Tit-Warblers fight into them. Early game, it seems tricky with a Lesh with Bloodstone. And I mean, you've got the global map presence to Dawnbreaker, but I think just Dawn gets kind of sat on by Shadow Fiend. How do you sit in lane? I don't know if you've got more experience with the matchup.
Yeah, I think Lesh is maybe an unusual pick. I don't think I've seen much of it at all. The position for Lesh is interesting because, okay, I'll be really interested to see how they lane these cores. Because they probably are looking at Tit-Warblers and thinking this is fairly transparent in terms of roles. It's an offlane Dawn, it's a mid tiny. They know that they're playing against a carry pick here.
Yeah.
So
and you can see those bands of the Viper ban was interesting. I'm not sure what that was really aimed at. Maybe they're expecting a carry tiny, perhaps.
Yeah. Or yeah, actually that's a good point. I didn't really think about the Viper ban, but it is a strange one. It's meant just be a matchup thing. Maybe it indicates that the Primal is mid and they just didn't want them to flex the tiny and pick the Viper.
But then you're running an offlane Leshrac, and I think that's a bit.
It's wonky, right? When you think about it, it's just a bit strange. But
I like the Nyx pickup though, and there's Spectre.
Spectre into 2 heroes who have built-in breaks on the Primal and the Nyx.
I mean, it's bold. It's very bold.
It is.
But honestly, if this game is on anyone, it is absolutely on Seething. If he can get some absolutely fantastic, crucial early game rotations, murder this SF 2-3 times in lane, then they can snowball. Spectre can get space to farm, and it becomes very tricky for Breaking Baps to come back. But yeah, I think there's a lot of heavy lifting doing here by Seething, if he can get this this tiny. And to be fair, I've seen him do it. He carries games for fun, it seems like. So really strong stand-in that they've got. We'll see how they can transition that.
It could also just be an element of wanting to pick strong late game, seeing as it's a best of one. People have nerves, struggle to end the game. I mean, the last best of one I watched was like a 50-minute game plus, I think. So
yeah, I mean, we had yesterday a 64 minute
60
game.
something
like that. It was uncomfortable to say the least, but you know, it's difficult. Nerves get to you. You don't want to go high ground. When you do, you've got a lot of heroes casting a lot of spells at you. It's going to be tricky. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I think this could be an interesting game. I think personally, Breaking Baps will have this quite comfortably. Their early game presence, I don't know how Tit-Warblers fight into it early. But we'll see. We'll see. Seems like an interesting matchup, to say the least.
Definitely. Oh, we have an immediate pause.
Immediate pause. I love that.
Well,
That is fantastic.
Well, we can have a quick overview here. So we have a Vidicus SF,
Yeah.
a Coil Primal,
Yeah.
a Fuwafuwa Leshrac, a Griff
Okay.
Nyx, and a Heretic Ogre. I don't know what roles. I guess in Fuwafuwa is their offlaner? So it is an offlane Lash?
He's also got 2 Fairy Fires, though. So maybe it's a mid-lash?
He might just be following a guide. Who knows?
This is a good point. No, he's saved 230 gold. He must be mid, right?
Yeah, that's true. You must be
Doesn't
buying a
that
bottle here.
Yeah. And then on the other side, you've got a Shadow Shaman on Soups, Obnot, Ench, Scotty, Dawnbreaker, Seething, of course, on the Tiny, and then Swan. Swan and the Spectre. So,
Yeah.
looking across the board, it seems like relatively low hero levels. It doesn't seem like anyone's on a particularly super comfort hero, at least, unless they just don't have Dota Plus. But I think it'll be an interesting one. I'm interested to see how this Ogre really matches up into Spectre, whether or not you can just bully him throughout the game as soon as he sort of portals in. Just getting those multicasts off, and much more importantly, whether or not he goes Midas. I think that's
have to.
arguably the most important part.
You can't
have to,
pick
surely,
Ogre and not
right?
build a Midas. Come on.
And what's the point? You've picked a hero for arguably the best ultimate in the game, and you don't go Midas. It's question marks throughout.
Oh, we have a reconnect.
Got a reconnect.
I think looking at this, I mean, as I am terminally carry-brained, I have to look at it through the carry's perspective.
Of course.
But if I'm looking at the Breaking Baps lineup as a Spectre, I'm thinking the heroes to go on, I suppose, are Shadow Fiend, assuming he's not just going to murder you immediately as soon as you jump on him,
Yep.
and maybe the Leshrac. The Ogre is quite tanky, although the later you go, the more his tankiness kind of diminishes.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And
I mean, who does? I feel like Spectre's sort of stuck. No, who does he jump?
maybe the Lesh.
Maybe Lesh, if you can get him like an early Orchid, jump him before he gets his spells
Yeah.
off. But it's tricky. It is tricky. I think this Spectre pick might not have been perfect. I don't know what the matchup is into SF. I suppose the high armor does help.
He does have a
Well, I
lot of
don't think
damage
they-
resist, I guess, built in, so
It is.
nice against the oppressive physical damage from the SF.
Absolutely. And it looks like they're both posturing for just protecting what they've got.
They are
Not getting
defenders.
greedy, just being comfortable.
Yeah. They do have a lot of global presence. It is a bit of a global strat between the Dawn and the Spec.
It's a good point. I mean, if Seething gets an early Blink Dagger, he's already queued it up, you can see. I mean, anyone
true.
can just join him at any point, right? Like, how does anyone show on the map without having immediately at least 3 heroes just mega trying to kill you? And
Yeah.
Griff has just walked straight past an Observer Ward. No, he's come back and he's realised he's realised what he's done. So they get that nice early ward, which is pretty crucial for these mid matchups, especially for melee into a ranged call. Yeah, just looking at facets as well, you can see that they're really doubling down on this push lineup with the Leshrac Edict, not talent, facet.
Okay, you're waiting for the one that doesn't hit dealt buildings, actually. So it's not a push Lash. It's a kill Lash.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I didn't realise that.
Interesting. Maybe they feel they have sufficient push from their SF, which is
I mean,
fair,
to
maybe.
me, that feels like a bit of a mistake, honestly. I would much prefer the other facet. I mean, if you can just have a Lesh standing on high ground, edicting your towers to death, can you? It's kind of difficult, and there's a lot of harass coming out on the bottom lane immediately. SF pretty keenly showing that he's not someone that you want to stand in lane with.
SF is very oppressive to lane against as a melee offlaner, so
yeah.
I would expect Dawn to maybe have a slightly rough lane.
But he is with an Ench who is quite a traditional. Oh, this might be first blood. No,
Potentially.
he's managed to.
He has no mana for
sneak out.
raises, unfortunately. If he did, that was a kill.
That was absolutely a kill. But it looks like Ench has already used all her regen. So is Dawn. We'll see if they've got. Dawn is ferrying out a salve. No more tangos.
Salve and a bracer.
I mean, it feels pretty tough. There's already 9 souls on this SF.
Indeed.
The laning phase seems pretty strong so far.
Mid lane is started strong for Tiny. I think the lanes have started strong for Tit-Warblers on the safe lane in the mid.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like we said, the off lane maybe slightly worse. But if there's a positive about laning into SF, it's that the minus armor means your lane is always going to push in. So
That's a good point. Yeah, so there's always that space to at least farm under tower.
Yeah.
If you can secure those last hits, which they should be able to do.
He's doing a good job here. And the banner creep, easy for Scotty.
Comfortable. He does miss that range creep, but you know what? Who needs a range creep?
I stopped looking, so I saved him the embarrassment. This lane top has been surprisingly calm. I mean, there's been. Let's have a look at how much tangos. I mean, S1. I'm assuming he only bought one set of tangos at the start. He hasn't had to use a single one.
Yeah, I mean, neither is this.
No.
Neither is Shaman. It feels like a mistake. This feels like a big misplay. I mean, you've got so many stuns on the side of Radiant, and yet you're not really using them.
Well, they're
Griff
going
has
on him now.
rotated mid to get that bounty.
Oh, I'm missing
and
first bloods.
Missed first blood.
I'm missing first
I mean,
bloods.
that's to be expected. He's got
Yeah.
16 stacks now on Necromancy. It's how do you stand in lane against it?
Yeah.
It looks like he's just bought some more regen as well. He didn't even use that salve that he ferried out, so really lacking on the regen front.
Yeah.
But interestingly, Shadow Fiend has gone for this Null Talisman first item.
I was thinking that it's quite unusual. Maybe he feels like the mana regen in the lane, using the razors to harass enemies out of lane, it secures his lane maybe a bit more.
Yeah, true.
It does
Perhaps.
slightly delay the treads timing, but maybe he feels like that's fine. A sacrifice he's willing to make.
I mean, I think regardless, he's got a strong enough lane that he's going to be able to recover from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mid lane is looking quite rough for
Yeah,
Lash,
I mean,
actually.
12 denies on this Tiny. It's
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be this one-sided, I'll be honest. I mean, I fully respect Seething. I think he's genuinely one of the mid laners of the tournament, but this is turning into a bit of a masterclass. We'll see how quickly he can get that blink dagger. I mean, maybe he should just skip treads and just go straight blink. Get that early timing.
I'm not sure about that. I think that the treads is just such a value pickup in terms of the gold efficiency.
Yes.
It helps him farm up as well a little bit quicker, and it makes his blink timing stronger when he does get it. So
That's a great point. Great point. And of course, I mean, the right clicks from him, like it's super strong. I mean, already he's got nearly 100 damage per right click, and he's only going to get beefier. Now 150 with that point in grow.
yeah,
I think there's a decent amount of kill threat actually in this in this mid lane if Fuwafuwa does step forward too much. He's currently sitting with no mana, and he's just bottled an arcane rune. We'll see what he does with that. I think bottom lane is desperate for a gank, I'll be honest.
Maybe.
We'll see how they can...
I'm actually quite impressed by the way that Scotty's played. I mean, obviously the lane's going to push in, so it guarantees the wave is going to be by his tower, but he has better last hits in the Primal in a lane that I think is probably harder.
It is impressive, and forward denies as well. That's not to be scoffed at. Against a Shadow Fiend with insane damage and armor reduction, it's pretty impressive.
I think so too.
Yeah, Scotty is he's also having a pretty...
He might die here.
Oh, he might be in trouble here.
He got away.
No, he managed to sneak away, and the one charges from enchantment.
But he has no regen, so he's going to get his entire wave denied. This is quite sad. And also, the Wisdom Runes. This might be 2 for breaking Baps here. The Nyx is also going...
No.
Oh no, guys. And they're not going to get anything from... Oh!
And the Ench kill.
But they read it, and they
turnaround
went
kill?
for the carry. It didn't work.
It didn't work out, unfortunately, and I think Scotty's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah.
Vidicus has got one raise and a right click is more than enough.
And the rotation is too late as well. Oh!
Feels bad. Oh, okay.
Nice vision. Very nice vision.
Fantastic play. How's he got... Oh, that's a really nice ward there, actually.
Yeah.
It's rare that you actually put that there. Mostly because, as a safe laner, you want to make sure that you're blocking that hard camp.
Yeah.
And if you've got a sentry on that sort of bottom side of that camp, it's going to deward it every single time. But they haven't got it. And, yeah, you lose your carry as a result. And top, there's a bit of a push here for seeing if they can get a kill, but it looks like they're not gonna make it out. And there's more kills on the bottom lane as well. Ooh, it's turning from a bad day into a much bigger problem.
Although he isn't accelerating his... Let's have a look at the farm real quick. What's my hotkey for farm? There we go. He does have good farm. I was going to say that he doesn't necessarily have crazy last hits given the lane, but...
No, I mean, 35 last hits is...
TP in from Lash?
8 minutes?
There was a failed gank from Seething, so...
Yeah,
So this is maybe this slight problem with going this, is that he doesn't push the wave when it's empty very well. Push the tower. But,
yeah, I mean, if he's got the other facet, he's taking mid tower there, 100%. And there's not a lot they can do. No TPs on Seething.
I'm sure he has his reasons.
We'll see how it translates. Oh my... Crash landing damage is stupid.
It's a bit nutty, that. That is a bit crazy.
Just immediately half the HP. And there's potentially a go here on top lane. No, they'll choose not to.
I think that they're probably quite happy to just secure Swan's farm. He has 52 last hits, 9 minutes. That's very nice.
Sitting comfortably at the top of the chart. Just looking at network, though.
Fighting. No.
Has missed the stun. Does Scotty get punished for this? Unfortunately not. But Obnot is just laying into him with the impetuses. Got a salve though.
Backpacking his items for the salve as well.
Oh,
Pro
the
player.
valley. He misses his treads though.
New.
Inefficiencies. Oh, you've got a bot in your chat, my friend.
Bot?
Vivi Vortex, get him out of my life.
How do I ban him permanently?
And they've got the kill on the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon? Who's this lad? Shadow Shaman. That's the one. Steps forward a little bit too far.
Yes, it's messaging me.
Oh no.
My DMs. My Twitch DMs. Let's have a look at the timing on the blink. This is maybe the most crucial early timing we have to be watching out for. He is 500 gold out of the blink, 600 gold out from the blink, and farming mid comfortably with a shield rune. Quick stack watch as well, seeing as they have a Lash and an SF on their team. There is a single ancient double stack.
Okay.
And
Is there?
Yeah, on the Radiant side.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, that's the nice one. You stack that when you go for mid. And I think Fuwafuwa is in trouble here. We stepped up
Oh.
way too far forward. The Ench was sitting
Yeah.
there with a smoke, waiting for someone to show. Seething was baiting in mid lane. Really good play there.
They've gone on the Spectre top when he
TP
came back
top as
though.
well.
I think
I think
that
Swan's
was
in trouble.
Griff using his Vendetta to get on top of him. Oh, he's actually going to
Did
live
he get
here.
him? I think Swan lives.
And they can turn with the...
Oh, they can absolutely turn.
Oh, no.
He doesn't quite have mana for Avalanche, but...
There's a dagger
I think
thrown. I don't think... Oh.
Oh, just enough damage there. Really, really good from Swan there, living through the burst from Primal Beast. So really valued rotations here. Whilst the bottom lane was a little bit of a disaster and has been semi-abandoned, the rest of the team are picking up really valuable kills.
Well, you know, Dawn, if you can rotate on some kills and get some XP and gold from assisting and joining global like movements and stuff, then I think that can kind of recover your game, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I mean, the fact that she's sitting at what 700 gold behind their mid laner.
yeah, let's have a look at the net worth again. Let's go back. We're looking at...
It's not
Yeah.
a bad showing. Not a bad showing at all.
Actually, yeah, it's not
They
so
do
bad.
finally take that mid lane tower as well, so
They do.
they're getting there. They're getting there. While Scotty is just farming comfortably in triangle.
I believe this is a blink on courier. It is. Is there?
Okay, we'll see. We'll see if there's any smokes coming out. There's a smoke coming out to the
there's
shaman. We'll see
two
what we
in
can
the
do with this reveal.
stash. Although there's a Nyx invading the jungle here.
Yeah, but Griff is under a ward.
Oh no, he doesn't have his ulti.
Oh, this
he
ogre
used
is in
it.
a lot of trouble. He does not realise.
Why is my camera? What the hell's happening to my camera?
But no mana. No mana. There you go. Just enough with the wand.
Oh, big.
Very good.
Big
Primal's
charge.
actually committing to this. Oh, this is a big clear up.
That's an
Oh,
AD for
dear.
you.
And there you have a DD with Diabolic Edict. It's going to do a lot of damage.
Look
Going
at
to do a
that.
lot of damage.
And SF gets the solo kill in the bot lane as well.
Oh. What started with a really good fight. As soon as the numbers turned up from Breaking Baps, it just completely turned it. And you can see Vidicus is sitting 2,000 gold clear of anyone else. And yeah, I mean, they're sailing. They're flying.
Straight for the early BKB as well.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Some people like to go that sort of early damage, getting that Hurricane Pike first. I don't know what you usually build. Do you go straight BKB or usually like a crit or something?
I don't think you go the Chrysalis before the BKB. I think you probably... Hold on. I think you usually either go for the Pike into
hunting.
BKB
Griff
or
is
just the
hunting.
Counterlance.
Oh, and he's got soups.
Yeah.
Very good play.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dangerous spot to be farming. Let's have a quick look
Yeah.
at the vision game. How do I toggle vision? Here we go. There's the Radiant Vision. They have a couple of aggressive wards, I think, which I think is appropriate. They have a bit of a lead, a 3k lead.
Yeah. I mean, the
And-
top ward I think is very interesting. I'm a bit of a ward connoisseur myself. I do love them, and
Which
I
top
really
ward?
like this ward just next to the Watcher on the high ground.
Yeah,
Seeing both entrances to the high ground,
yeah.
and I think that's just out of range of sentry vision from the high ground.
I believe you are
sort of ward
right.
spot as well.
They are looking to
Really,
set
really
up
good.
on Swan here.
Absolutely. We'll see if they can pick him up.
He has his all good.
Everyone is converging.
Wow.
No one else is showing on the map.
But
There's
Swan has the
nowhere for him
read.
to
He
be
stopped for the
converting.
Watcher.
And he stops for the Watcher.
No!
Oh, it's a disaster. He's dead. There's nothing he can do. And there's a Blink Dagger as well on the Leshrac. I think they're just going to run away with this. Seems
Perhaps.
like it's going their way. Fuwafuwa is completely caught up to the Tiny.
Yeah.
And eclipsed his net worth. It's
Yeah.
getting a bit tricky.
I'm not sure how much I like this this Blink Dagger, seeing as I feel like Lesh kind of needs defensive items to stick in the middle of the fight. It's very, very, very aggressive. Basically, this Blink is saying we're gonna win the game super early and like snowball really hard.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, what damage do they have? Is there anyone that can actually lay out that damage or stand next to him and deal that damage to him? I think it's a bit tricky. Seething's in a little bit of trouble here.
Probably going to die here as well.
I don't know if he can play himself out of this.
No.
And unfortunately, the stuns come through.
Yeah, I think the thing to do here against Breaking Baps and how they're playing now is Breaking Baps are really determined to 5-man and take towers and take fights. Yes. So Swan is doing the right thing. He's farming up.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, there's more death balling.
No, just split the map as much as you can. I mean, they've got nice vision on that bottom side, on that high ground, and they can clearly see as well any rotations that come through that bottom jungle. So they've got really good vision. Scottie's in a lot of trouble here.
I don't think
doesn't know that he's under 2 wards.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate, but Seething is farming bottom, so
yeah.
Whilst it is a bit of a feed, I think it's a good value feed.
I think Tit-Warblers have a decent lineup for delaying the game, right? Like, if you have global presence, then you can split the map and always join up for a 5v5.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of it is on Scottie to see if he can get that early BKB. If he can get that BKB before they go high ground, I think it could be an interesting fight. But again, very dependent on that BKB timing. He's going that blade mail first.
They're just going to get run down.
Support's very sad in the mid lane.
Yeah.
I think they could just go high ground here, but they
lanes,
turn around for it. They want it.
2 lanes pushed in.
Lanes are pushed in.
They're sticking for it though. You're right.
I don't think they can stop this. They have a glyph. And they do pop it.
Early glyph, I think, but
a little bit early.
but
I mean,
Swan, this is dangerous.
Ooh.
Is that Pike? He went Pike before BKB. He switched up.
I think he has. Yeah.
He's out.
He is out.
This might actually be a kill with Primal Chasers.
They
as well.
should actually turn on him. Absolutely. Scottie misses his.
They intercept the Lesh, who has a haste. If they can maybe just kill the Primal before the Lesh can turn up, this is.
He
decent.
pops his blade mail. It's very difficult to turn into this.
Tiny's in. Oh, the Ravage!
Not enough burst. It's not enough burst.
They are.
And Primal lives through it all. They do take the Ogre. And there's the...
So Seething throws him and gets the kill, so it's actually a 2 for nothing here. 2 for 1 now.
Yeah, it's 2 for 1 now.
Which is still good
a little bit
for Tit-Warblers.
Soups is now feeding as well.
A 2 for 2 when you're behind is actually not that bad. So...
I think it's very good value. I mean, if you look at the gold change from that, I mean, Tit-Warblers came up on top. Almost an 800 gold sort of win. More XP as well, which is really important in their position. And very critically, a lot of XP on the Dawnbreaker, who is going to be the turning factor in these fights. So, not great. They stop the high ground push as well. And Swan very critically lives as well.
Yeah,
so,
very
not
big
full
for Swan.
disaster.
Still, the SF is such a fast farmer, this hero, especially with the Mask of Madness and the raises. It's very hard to keep up, I think. Especially as Spectre, very slow farmer by comparison. Especially when you don't go the Radiance build, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is a mistake going this sort of pick-off build. I think you do need to do it, but... I mean, when are they ever going to be solo?
They're fighting under a ward here. Oh, they're just going to make the quarter back.
A lot of damage. And Soups is in trouble as well.
Yeah.
Tries to make it out with the foul play, but fortunately doesn't manage it. Swan is aware that...
They should see this with the Dawn ulti.
Yeah, he spotted it, he knows. He does manage to successfully juke him. And we'll see if Seething immediately beelining for that bottom lane. Just to pick up some farm.
He knows.
And Swan's a very cautious TP out there. Making sure to get onto the high ground.
It's 8,000 gold lead already. Most of it on these 2 main cores.
It's true, but I mean, Vidicus is what, on a mega kill streak now? There's a lot
Yeah.
of gold in that SF. If
That's
you can pop
true.
him once, he doesn't quite have that BKB.
He's getting close though, and it gets so much harder once he has it.
You're absolutely right. I mean, they have very few BKB piercing stuns other than the Dawn ulti, which hasn't been the most successful so far.
Yeah. Wisdom rune.
Primal is just TP'd bottom. We'll see if they rotate onto it. Very alone.
I think that they're just going to dodge on Tit-Warblers.
There's a slew of items coming out.
He's been pinged.
I think Seething wants him. Seething wants him.
Yeah.
But he just cautiously backs off. He knows that he's being hunted. Scotty as well is now under a ward placed by Ogre on Heretic.
So quick look. Items. Blade Mail. We've got a Bloodstone coming up. Dagon finish on Nyx. A solar into maybe a pipe. Is this? Yeah. Diffu and Orchid into a Manta. This is maybe... I don't know about this. I don't play Spectre and I haven't played Spectre in so long, so it's very... Yeah. It's hard for me to judge.
Yeah, I mean,
really.
I used to be a Spectre spammer. I loved Spectre back when Haunt was an actually good spell. And Shadow Step, I think it forces you down this pick-off route, which... Oh, he's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah.
And there's a haste rune as well on the Lesh. He's just popping. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
And a lot of gold going to Fuwafuwa, who's completely recovered from his terrible laning phase. But
Yeah.
Seething is splitting. Seething is splitting. I mean, they've nearly got this tier 2 top. Sure, they're going to lose tier 1, their tier 2 top, but I mean, if he sticks around, which I think he should, he might be able to get a decent trade out of this.
Yeah, he has a wave. He has a tree grab with the shard, so...
Oh.
They're TPing on heroes.
And they've fully TP'd on him. Well, they really want him.
Is he going for the
They're
sneak
not gonna
TP,
catch him,
or is he
though.
just going to run? They might catch him still.
He
We'll see.
has to run, I think. There's no way he stops.
There's a charge coming in.
Yes,
It's not going to connect quite. And he's got the blink. Nice.
Yeah, and he's safe. Very well played there. He should be comfortable here.
They're smoking for the chase, but I don't think it's worth it.
Griff doesn't quite... Now he's got Vendetta up, actually. There's no way they can chase him.
No. Probably just going to steal the Tormentor here, probably. Maybe making that call. Or
I
at
think they
least the
just
tier 2.
Take objectives, no?
Well, they're
take
right
tier
next to
2.
each other. You can take both.
Yeah.
Building a Silver Edge for the Spectre, so his game continues to get more difficult. Go for the Ags on the Primal for the break as well.
And melee BKB as well on the Primal. I mean... I don't see how any of these heroes die, honestly. It's,
High ground. That's how people... The grave of Leeds is high ground.
I know more, way too much about that than far more than I should. Fortunately, thrown so many games as a result of going high ground. But I mean, you've got a solar crest on this SF. You've got fire shield as well. I mean, how do you kill him? Maybe you can get a tossback play into Spectre ult, but there's still no Manta. There's not enough damage coming out of the Spectre yet. Far too early for her to fight. They do successfully manage to force a rotation from Nyx at least. We'll see if
Is he
if
trying to
Griff
look
goes
for
for this.
something? He's not going to
It
find
might be a
it.
bit of a feed.
I think the real problem for Dyer here is that their Dawn is having an extremely rough game. And Dawn has the exact right idea. He just needs to get the blade. He has the blade mail. He just needs to get the BKB and make himself not completely burstable in a fight.
Absolutely. And Griff is just watching.
How much
watching
longer does he have
S1
left
farm.
on
I think
Vendetta?
he's in a lot of trouble. He doesn't realise.
Yeah.
Doesn't realise how much danger he's in.
Oh, maybe
He
slightly
gets the
early from
stun.
Griff. Oh, it doesn't
And
actually
Griff
matter. He just
just-
solo kills him. Wow.
Nyx here. Wow. I wasn't expecting that much damage. He's got Dagon 1 level 1, but Mind Flare level 4 is still far too much burst, and without that Manta, it's very difficult for you to live through it. And they just transition this straight into Roshan, putting it on this SF. If you couldn't kill him once, you're sure as hell not killing him twice.
I mean, they have the Shadow Blade as well. A little extra elusivity.
Yeah. I mean, how do you stick on top of him? I don't see. I don't see it. I mean, the only thing that I could possibly say is that these supports have gone very on the team of on the side of Breaking Baps. They've gone very greedy builds with the ogre. To be fair, picking up the Solar Crest and Pipe soon. But Nyx has just gone purely for this pick-off, and I don't know how much value he's going to be bringing into.
He's got the Yules. I'm not sure what the Yules is for, but
maybe for extra catch, just delaying fights more than anything.
maybe.
But he has
maybe.
just walked through a pair of wards here bottom, so they're very much aware that he's being hunted.
Oh, Swan reveals it as well. That's and gets nothing for it
I
as
think
well.
that was a bit of a panic stations there.
Maybe.
Realised
maybe.
that everyone was off map, and they would almost certainly be lining for him.
SF is alone here. They need to connect their team if they don't want. They have no
to,
dust
but
on
they
their heroes.
Have no dust, no detection on the team.
Guys, come on. You're playing against a Nyx.
I mean, it's bold, and there's the double stun from Griff. It's
Oh my
fantastic.
god.
I mean, it's
And
turning
just
into a bit of a one-way street here.
Yeah. And like neither of these supports are easy to pick off. That was probably the problem is they need these picks to try and recover the game, but I think Breaking Baps are doing a really good job of making their moves to survive, so they're never leaving heroes alone. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if it is, it's a primal beast with a BKB and a blade mail. How do you kill it?
yeah, he just jumps in on the
And it's
lesh.
just
The spec shadow steps, but he just
Vector
dies.
tried to kill
Oh.
Griff, but it's just not enough damage, and
That is rough.
FF turns
The
around.
tip.
Oh dear.
That's really rough.
I mean, if you want a lesson in how to end a game in under 30 minutes, this is go no further than this. This is, to be honest, it's been won on the draft. It's absolutely been won on the draft. You cannot let an SF first pick get a game like this.
Yeah. It's hard if you don't have the... We don't know what Scotty's hero pool is, so it's hard. I mean, if he's forced into picking a melee strength offlaner into this, then most of his lanes are going to be difficult.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Um,
But, I mean, you can always pick a Centaur. You can always
Maybe.
pick a Tide, which at least can go... Not even, but...
oh,
they do pick off Griff, so
here.
a little bit of value out there.
they might be staying
Seething
slightly
goes in with
long.
the combo, but it's just not
No,
enough damage.
It just doesn't matter.
SF pops the BKB, turns around, and just whomps them, and they call GG.
Wow, that was extremely quick.
I mean, my dinner's still warm, so I'm relatively pleased at least, but wow. I mean,
Wow.
Breaking Baps showing up and really demonstrating that they do not give a shit, and they are here to, they want to stay in.
That was extremely clean.
Very clean.
34
I don't
to
think there was
9.
many misplays, if any, from Breaking Baps. It was pretty much a masterclass. Everyone was having a really good game. Everyone was switched on. Slight issues with their laning phase in terms of sort of their off lane and mid lane, but this SF was just too big. There's nothing they could do about it. Lesh as well had completely free game. I mean, it's
13-1 for the SF. I mean, and 11-1 for the Lash. They just couldn't kill him.
I just couldn't kill him. It's and if it's a first pick SF, I just don't think you can let that be unpunished.
And this isn't even necessarily like clear. He's only level 2. He's probably only played a couple, maybe 1 or 2 pubs on this hero.
Yeah, I mean that's confidence right there. That is confidence. Knowing how good you are, and that you can just pick up any sort of hero, and I mean deliver.
Yeah.
Look at.
You could tell that he hadn't played it a ton because he wasn't necessarily getting a ton out of the razors in the lane. I think he was using them slightly inefficiently, but it just doesn't matter, I guess, if you just diff the lane on skill.
No, exactly. I mean,
I think that
it's a bit of a shame from Scotty as well. I mean, honestly, I think he played the lane as well as he could have. There's not a lot you can do into this
it's rough.
Ogre SF lane, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe support rotations needed to come earlier with your safe lane going so well. Rotate on soups a bit, but
Yeah, once the spec hits level 6 and your tiny can rotate before the blink timing and stuff.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I'm surprised that the Ench got so walked in those early trades, right? In the lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
It's very rare to see an inch
yeah, actually,
come off from a lane not feeling,
how do I
I mean,
see
strong, right?
the order of skills? You went impetus first. I think you have to go nature's attendance first. Yeah,
I
maybe.
think so too. I think that was a massive misplay, I'll be honest. I mean, impetus level 1 is... I don't want to say it's worthless, but it's just poor. And then maxing it at level 7 is... I think the fact that you're not maxing nature's attendance level 1, which is sort of the main part of Ench, right? Like, you get nature's attendance, you get enchant, you get a creep, and you just run at them. Without that, it's so difficult to play a lane. The damage from impetus is great, don't get me wrong, but you just don't have the mana pool to be able to sustain it, and so you become worthless. It's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting this much of a rollover. I was expecting a bit of a tougher game for an elimination match, but I mean, we did see some good performances. I wouldn't say that Tit-Warblers have everything to despair about. They did play pretty well. Scotty, I think, with the lane that he was given, with the matchup, he played all right. A little bit of feeding, but I don't think that was necessarily his fault. I think that's more of a draft issue, which can be fixed.
I mean, 2 of the lanes went well for them, right? Like in the early stages of the lane. It's not even like they got completely rolled on the lanes, right? Yeah, they have 2-1 lanes here. Or not one, but at least even.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that you've got this at 10 minutes, you've got pretty much comparable net worth between Spectre and SF, and Tiny, in fact. And unfortunately, they just weren't able to transition that as a result of this just 5-man death pool, which is so difficult to play against. And you can see that they've really thought about how they actually want to play, because they've banned the Winter Wyvern, which I think was absolutely instrumental. If they can pick up this Winter Wyvern, I mean, you just curse someone sitting next to a Shadow Fiend and they're just dead. It doesn't matter who they are, especially the Sleshrak. And that's a lot of their early game damage. So very good drafting overall from Breaking Baps, and unfortunately Tit-Warblers, I just don't think they respected that Shadow Fiend and how much damage he could output at all phases of the game. So it's a shame to say goodbye, but I think they've done themselves proud. They gave us a good game, at least, interesting to watch. Just a shame that unfortunately a couple of I'm going to say misclicks in the draft has resulted in what feels like a one-sided game, but I don't think it should really be taken as that.
At least, yeah, I'd agree. My final thoughts before ending the stream. Spectre, last I checked on strats, is like 8-1 or 1-8 rather in the tournament. Please stop picking this hero.
Just don't pick it. It's not good. It's not good.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, Flowzone, for volunteering to cast literally last minute as well.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
This was super fun.
Yeah.
See ya.
Peace.